What's up, you guys? We are back. The Let's Name This Later podcast, episode 2.
Yes, sir.
We're back. We're doing it probably like every 2 weeks. We're trying to
ideally, yes, that's what we're going to try to start with.
But, there's a bunch of things coming up. Valentine's Day.
Yes, sir.
Remy's girlfriend's birthday. Shout out to her.
That's true as well, yes. Happy birthday.
We had a whole bunch of festivities to take care of, but we're back for episode 2. We have a bunch of topics to
Plus, like you said, like the whole point is to give quality content.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I rather do episodes whenever it's
I don't
optimal.
I don't want to like force feed anything to anyone. Like, make sure there's actually good things to talk about because, like, let's say we have a episode every week and then there's nothing to talk about in fashion or lifestyle in that week. That we're just like, hey, how was your week, Remy?
So what about them others? But first, I think it's important to big thank you to Tragic Studios, always having us, killing it, safe,
handshake
COVID.
emoji. I appreciate
everything
you guys.
we're doing is responsible. All the measures are taken to be able to record,
safe.
so
we have the
we really appreciate it.
Here.
And a big thanks to everybody that listened to the first episode.
Yeah.
I feel like it was well received.
It was really great.
Excited to record some more.
Also, on top of it, now we're on Spotify and Apple Music,
yes, sir.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
Really great. Thank you, Remy, for doing that, by the way. It's crazy.
Easy peasy. Worth it. You can hear us. We'll have the links in the description for everything anyway, so you can catch us on all the platforms.
For sure.
So you want to just jump right into it?
Yeah, we'll jump right into it. So the first one is going to be...
What dominated my YouTube feed.
Yeah, same as well. Was Yachty's closet tour. He did a second run at it, which is funny because in the first episode we talked about the old one. It's kind of like we manifested it. We spoke it into existence for him to do a second one. So he bought a new house not too long ago. I think he does like these like YouTube episodes.
Yeah,
kind
the
of like
boat show, which is
kind of
very,
like how
very good.
Wiz Khalifa used to do the day-to-days. Now he's like the new
even less editing, like more candid stuff, just like one cameraman behind the scenes type of look.
More like vlog style, which is cool.
Very much a vlog that he happens to have somebody film for him.
For sure.
But that 2 parts, because he did the closets a couple, like almost a year ago, I guess, with the complex. But now this, he kind of got to show, I guess, not just show, but explain why he curated it the way he did. And it's just like, it's simply amazing to see somebody that not only has the resources to get everything, but pick what I feel confident enough to say that like over 95% of the people that are into this whole world that he's into would be like, this is exactly how I would do it, Easily. You get that wall of Jordan 1s. Big shout out to Curated Van.
Yeah, Curated Van. Got a
Canadian
huge shout out on that. Yeah, Vancouver.
It's a good look.
I
sold him my skunks.
You did?
My Nike SB skunks.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Which we'll get into later. The whole SB thing.
I turned those down. I feel so bad. I should have got those. But anyway.
Hindsight is always 20/20.
That's true.
But just that collection, and it's always good because he seems like an authentic person despite his success.
Yeah.
When he gives Joe those Yeezy foam runners, it doesn't seem like a bit that he's trying to.
No, and it doesn't seem like they wrote it into the script either. No. Like you could see he's genuinely excited about getting them, and like it was impulse.
Yeah. And you can tell he's also very much into sneakers for himself because what he displayed, a lot of it is not what is like. Because I always think of Offset when I think of newer sneakerhead. Like when you have all the money in the world and you're just getting into sneakers, I feel like it would be more like Offset. Whereas if you have all the money in the world but you've always been into sneakers, then you would be more in the yachty camp. You know what I mean?
It's true. Because we were even talking about it before with Offset and how we both watched the Mayor closet clean out video. And I was shocked that he was buying things out of Mayor's closet, and we were both discussing how that's kind of like an easy way out to be like, oh, I'm verified, like I bought it out of Mayor's closet.
There's very few people in the sneaker world that you could say, if he gives you the pass. Pass, it's undeniable.
Exactly.
Mayor is one of them, part of ATF. It's like, and obviously he knows enough at least to go to him,
Yeah, which is good. Is already a right step, but like we're saying, like comparing Yachty to Offset, I feel like Yachty's definitely more
Yachty needs to be compared to Mayor. That's the level he's at to me now. Whereas Offset is still buying stuff off Mayor. Yachty to me is
he's paving his own taste at this point, especially with the ACGs and everything like that too. I find
ACGs or just how he has like the knowledge that it takes to. Because I feel like if sneakers weren't popular at all, he would still buy them,
Yeah, 100%.
Which is huge. And it's also, he's not just into sneakers, he's into a lot of just the whole, I guess, Japan. It's funny how, there's that whole, it's a full circle thing where how
it's Americana, but then it's Japanese.
Americana,
yeah,
but then Americans are fascinated with the Japanese take on Americana.
Yeah.
And he is like, especially, I mean, something that is not to be like just swept under the rug is how hard it must be for a guy his size versus.
Oh my God. There's like always that story of like Yachty and Bari going to Japan and like buying everything size Capital 5 store, at a Kapital. Yeah. Like there's been times where tourists would go to Kapital and there's no sizes for them because like either Bari or Yachty had been there like a couple months before and they're there like sewing till their hands are broken.
But then again, that takes
the size 5.
That takes effort, you know, to actually go there and actually do it.
To hit all 5, I think there is of the Kapital stores in Japan.
I think that's what. There's a vintage one. There's a denim one. Yeah. There's like the boutique space.
Yeah, and there's like a history one where they have like all of the like nostalgia.
What do you think about Kapital? How I think it's crossed over into the whole like. If you know about Hidden NY, you know about Kapital. You know, it's like way past niche at this point. It's not mainstream.
It's in the realm of like. You know how Grilled has their favorite brands or whatever that they like, everyone's buying into them. So they'll put them like the little bubbles on the front page. That's where it's at to me now. Like everyone knows of Kapital. And I feel like at a point it was like a broke man's visvim, but like visvim is so like top tier on the pyramid that everyone's like.
Wow, yeah. I mean, visvim is definitely seems to be on another level, but that's, I don't know, because do you have any Kapital pieces?
I have the bandana yellow flannel.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the only Kapital piece I have right now, I think.
But that's one of the most sought after pieces.
Yeah.
So it's a good
But it took me a while to get it because especially to get it in my size, the size 5 was like nowhere to be found for a long time.
Yachty didn't want that one.
Yeah, no,
he was okay with you having
There's
that
one guy in Japan that's like, I don't know how he gets his stock. He's on Grail, but he has like amazing reviews. But the way I got that shirt was insane. Like I got it in 2 days through DHL.
Really?
Like his shipping is Japan insane from Japan. Yeah. It hits.
Maybe he knows that Ken
Ichiro, maybe like I don't know. I assumed it was all backdoor stuff because like there's no way he had like that much range of Kapital stuff and not being able to. But I don't know.
I mean, that's a whole.
Who knows?
That's a whole nother world.
Unless he's a collector, but like who knows?
How long is Kapital? Do you know when Kapital was? Is it older than? Because I know visvim was started in 01.
Yeah, I don't think it's older than visvim, but I feel like around the same time. Like I feel like a lot of individuals in Japan wanted to start a brand of that nature around that time frame.
Well, like you said, I mean, the whole fascination with like Americana is crazy, and it goes. It's kind of like how, because I grew up extremely influenced by hip hop,
for sure,
and I remember every rapper, like be it in outdoor interviews or wherever you could get like a glimpse of the rappers, they would often say that like the Japanese crowd knew the lyrics better than the American ones, you know, and how it's taken just with much more like pride and like the emphasis on actually knowing your stuff is way higher. And I feel like that applies to everything, be it fashion, be it work, music. So it's like, it's interesting how they've been able to literally take American clothing and elevate it higher
to the highest degree. Yeah.
You know?
Like even now, Levi's doesn't even make their stuff in the States anymore.
Right.
And there's brands out of Japan that will remake Levi's in a similar fashion to how the States does it, but maybe even better now, which is crazy. Like they try to make like type 2 denim jackets and like salvage versions of like the 501s and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Do you have any orange tab Levi's?
I have a lot of orange tab Levi's. I just got a pair of red line Levi's, which is like these, like the salvage pair of Levi's. I think they stopped making them in like the 80s, like late 80s. And
that's a whole world. Man.
Yeah,
denim is a whole world.
No, it's nuts. It makes me appreciate a lot of what the Japanese appreciate out of Americana so much, which is like the simple nature of all the garments they have. You know, like it's just like it might be overlooked to a lot of people, but in the reality of things, it's like the most functional, the most useful. Just crazy.
Right. It seems to be very purpose driven.
Yeah.
And there seems to be less kind of like less waste in the way they consume fashion in general.
For sure. Yeah.
Because how like even just visvim, because we're gonna stick with visvim for a minute. How like all their pieces they're notorious for being expensive, but they're also at the same time notorious for the quality of their product and also the quality of the process. To have somebody who's willing to go from hand dyeing garments in Japan, then taking those garments, flying them to Paris to be sewn by the French couturiers, and then like that whole process, which is mixing the old with the new, which encompasses like what the whole point of visvim is. Because obviously I like to invest, like I like to know before I invest in a brand. Like I like to know as much about it as I can, because knowledge is power, kids. Never forget that.
I highly recommend a lot of people to do that, by the way. It's just like a lot more
it's just
satisfactory.
I mean, everybody, it's obvious to each his own, but if you're going to invest your time and your money into something, why not be knowledgeable in what you're like
consuming?
Exactly, consuming. And I was really, really impressed with the whole story of visvim, you know, how he started with like working for Burton.
I didn't even know that he was
Hiroki Nakamura.
I thought
I'm
he was
sorry
interning.
if I pronounced it.
Yeah, no, it's hard to pronounce his name. I thought he was interning for Burton.
No, he worked there I think for like 7 or 8 years.
Okay, wow.
And then in 2001, visvim started, which I think it's like always a fun fact whenever you research visvim, like it's a word that has no name. It's just 2 Latin words put together that sound good.
Yeah.
Which is good, because
sometimes like, brand names need to be that way. Like a lot of people don't know that like brand name, like the brand name is like so impactful for a lot of things. Like,
it's the first impression for many people. It's like you hear about it first, you know. So that name has to, you know, it needs to sound good, you know. And it's also, to me, I like how it's obviously I might be projecting here, but to me, I like how it's kind of putting a mirror to like. Because fashion loves to take itself very seriously.
It does.
And he does take himself seriously in the garments, but as far as the name, it's like it doesn't have to mean this whole like philosophy about life and what we want to achieve and all that. It's just, no, I just like the way it sounds.
Yeah, it's like get to the point, like actually
like,
tell us what you feel.
The story will be told in the garments, not in the name, you know?
Yeah.
And like I was saying even before we were recording, like you are the person that I've hassled the most about my want for crystals, you know, over the years.
Yeah. And that was something we really wanted to talk about, was like the visvim crystal.
And now look at us, bro. Both of us.
Wow.
In our own pairs.
Wow. Time flies, eh?
I mean, you know, you grow up and you love to see it, you know? 2 different pairs. And I love how the whole, like we said, the whole point of visvim products is like if you buy one, you're not supposed to get another one ever of the same garment. Like you're supposed to be
You weren't supposed to be sitting here getting 5 crystals here.
I mean, you can if you want, but the whole point of the garment is to last a lifetime. Yeah. You know, like
especially with the accessory providers that they like work with, which is like, don't they have like a Vibram contract? Absolutely. You know what I mean? To have like what, Cordura also sometimes?
Yeah, well, it depends on the pair you get. Like, it's always going to be different materials, but again, it just reflects the whole brand philosophy, which is if Vibram happens to be Italian, but they make the best outsoles, I'm going to go to Vibram to make my outsole, and then if we want ballistic material, we'll source it from wherever it needs to be sourced, you know? And so for years and years we were looking, then we did enough research, and then we figured out that like, holy shit, like we got to fucking basically timer clocks to Japanese time to match the drop. So I remember being at the gym at like 5 a.m. trying to get my pairs and all that, figuring out the whole large versus extra large, all
sizing thing. And you had DM'd me the day before, I think, when you told me that the drop was happening. Yeah. Like, I think I'm going to do it. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and I love it because it's what's cool about visvim and other products that I feel like we tend to like is that it's a veblen good. Have you ever heard of that term?
No, I haven't.
A veblen good is basically anything that the more expensive it is, the more people want it. Okay. Like instinctively you would think like the cheaper a product, the more people would want it. You know? However, something like these retail at the minimum at $750 USD, you know?
Which is a lot of money.
Which is a lot of money for
Canadian, especially, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Yeah, regardless. Like you're paying a lot of money for sandals. Yeah. However, there's a point to be made with stuff like this, or even like art pieces or anything where it's like if it were cheap, people would not fuck with it as much.
Because at the end of the day, it is a sandal, but like
it's hard to get.
And
it's extremely also well built.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be the last one you ever need, and it has a quote unquote a full story behind it, you know. So that to me is fascinating. The fact like the whole veblen good like phenomenon that like, because basically it explains brands like Louis Vuitton and all those brands that when you're like people that aren't into fashion, let alone luxury fashion, they're like, wait, you're telling me that like these trunks are like $50,000 and these bags, like why wouldn't you just get a handcrafted quality leather bag from a not a cobbler because that's just for shoes, but craftsman to build it for a fraction of the price. But it's like, no, I want it because it's expensive, you know?
Yeah.
And that's fascinating to me how like the human. Here we go, crack one for the boys out here. If anybody caught that, you know, we're having a good time at Tragic Studios, you know?
You got to, you know, our sound engineer's getting a little sip in.
Well, we appreciate the work, the hard work. He deserves it. If anybody deserves a cold one,
it's Justice Man.
Hell yeah. A medium, a lukewarm one.
A lukewarm brewski.
But because going back to the Christos, if people haven't seen, you did a video when you got them, like it's part of a clothing.
Pickups,
a pickups video, and you explained really how it's cool how there's like various iterations of the same thing. Like you wanted a black one, but not necessarily any type of black one.
Yeah, exactly. Because like when you were getting your black pair, I was like, I would love to get a black pair, but I was like, there needs to be some type of dimension for me. Like not necessarily a design, because like there were so many black pairs that had dropped after yours that were like either Navajo or like Paisley or something like that. Right. But I was like, it's too distinct.
It's not black at that point.
It's not black. It's like a pattern or like a motif, whatever. So I was just waiting for the right one to drop, and then there's these ICT Christos that dropped like right in the summertime, I think, like something in August. They were super expensive though. That was the problem. It was like as soon as you go,
they can
ICT,
get up to 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the ICT ones were like 900, almost like 1,000 US, and then it ended up being like with the duties and the tax, like almost 14. God, this is a lot. So I sold. Let's say I sold a lot of pieces.
But again, whenever you're thinking about a Veblen good, because now we know the term for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's always important to remember that there's also the price per wear, which is a huge thing to take into consideration, where it's like, if you're literally going to wear these for the next 10 years sparingly, it's going to cost you less to keep those than to keep buying. And then there's the whole environment aspect to it, how like you don't have to keep buying stuff. Yeah. So it's like you could make an argument, and also it is like you do get what you pay for to a certain extent. There is that premium for the brand and the whole, you know, supply and demand aspect of it, but it's still justifiable to a certain extent. Again, if you want to pay, like again, nobody is like
no one's forcing
to do
you to
it,
pay $1,400 for these sandals. So like,
it's but it is at least good to know that you won't feel vapid in the sense how whenever you buy, like, because that was a hard thing to get over for me in sneaker resale. Yeah, for like SBs that are like $64 to be at all of a sudden 1,500, if not more. Yeah, they're like, well, damn, that doesn't sound the same to me. Whereas if the retail is this high, the materials that were used,
it's starting out the gate like this.
Exactly, like that's what the brand feels it's actually worth. Whereas Nike has told you, now we feel like these are $65. If y'all are willing to pay what you're paying, that's so be it. You know,
it's on you. It's on you at the end of the day.
And before we get to SBs, with the whole visvim and the whole Americana, like we've seen this whole. How long would you say workwear has been in vogue, like as we see it? Because it is like it's dominated. It's fashion Instagram. Yeah, I feel
right now it's like probably the most trendy menswear thing on my like Explorer page and stuff like that right now.
Do you think it's because of accessibility?
Yeah, because it's accessibility, and then also it's like that in between price point. So like if you pay for vintage, you're paying like max $250, $300 for something. On the average end, it's like $100 for a pair of like really, really good Carhartts that were like well curated, or like something from Unsound Rags, something like that, you know? So if you're paying that and you're getting such a high tier quality garment, then like why even invest into anything else at that point, you know, especially if it's getting the same interaction on the same traffic, on social media, on social media, and you don't have to invest as much into the outfit, then why not do it? And that's why everyone else is doing it now.
And I feel like a lot of people also feel like they get a lot more bang for their buck because of the usability aspect, where it's not as dainty, quote unquote, as like a high fashion house, where like you feel a Saint Laurent t-shirt and it's like you're barely feeling anything, you know, you're not feeling like after a couple of wears, like, I don't know, you know, whereas workwear, not only is it popular, like you said. Shout out Keezy.
Yeah, Keezy.
Yo, that guy's really killing it.
Yeah, his long format content.
Yo, an hour
like
it's nothing.
Yeah,
he's dropping vlogs like their podcast.
Yeah,
like,
we're here doing the hour-long podcast. We have to double up on the time.
Fitted?
Yeah. Shout out to Keezy for sending the. I don't know if I'm getting the pants. We'll see. Keezy, that's word from the podcast. You have to send me the pants, bro. Yeah. No, but the hat. Both of them are amazing.
With the elastics.
So good. I love how it's like every little element of like him being in his environment is like curated him to like make this brand, and like with the elastics and like
the patch optional.
The patch.
Are you gonna put it for sure? Or
I don't know, because I like sewing in my patches. I don't like iron-on patches. Honestly,
you're gonna go to Lids and get it.
Or I'll bring it to like my seam worker or something.
All right, Bijan.
Yeah, maybe Bijan. Yeah. Oh, they can't know. They'll figure it out. You look up Bijan in the Yellow Pages. Tell me if you find him. My tailor. Shout out Bijan.
That's a legend right there.
He's a legend.
Underground.
I've been seeing him since like 16 years old.
At least, yeah. No, it's been
so crazy.
I keep losing.
The Goyard keeps on dropping on the floor.
Yeah,
Remy's too rich.
It's too heavy. Goyard too heavy. That's why I keep it, you know. But so workwear, how much have you invested in it though?
I've invested a bit into it, but I wouldn't even say as much, because like I guess it's kind of like a trade of services type of thing. Like I've become a lot like friends with some vintage dealers now. So if I'm doing some promo for them, then they'll kind of like exchange it for some goods. So like I get content out of it, they get promo. It's like a win-win for everyone type of thing. So I feel like it's working in that aspect. But as far as me like actually putting money up for workwear, it hasn't been too much, honestly. And it doesn't feel like a big investment either, like what we were saying before. Which is
but okay, so maybe not investment, but let's say in your current wardrobe, how much
real estate has it occupied? Yeah, like a decent amount. I would say like maybe a fourth or a fifth.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because it's wearable. It's super wearable. You know, like you could definitely like incorporate it into a lot of outfits, and it doesn't have to be like head to toe like tote bag clone, as Keezy calls it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't have to be very hidden NY type beat. Like you could definitely like wear Carhartt and other things in like a high fashion realm as well, or like even super street or workwear.
Would you get the hidden socks though?
I would.
Everybody's been.
I would. I like the socks. I've tried to get the socks. I'd never get lucky. Especially now he has this like program, this like Patreon almost for his hidden. Yeah, like
really.
You like buy a membership for hidden, and then you get early access to the.
Because hidden is drops. Like, I don't know how much he's into it, but the guy like NY 1985 or NY 8585 who's in the Kai and Levi Bentley.
Yeah, he's like a brand manager.
Okay, he's the brand manager.
Yeah,
I thought it was his account to begin with.
No. It's a guy from London originally, I believe, that runs the Hidden NY account.
Didn't he do a throwing fits?
He did. Yeah, he talks a lot about it. He talks a lot about it in there.
Bro, can you imagine like a life-changing Instagram page? Basically,
crazy.
Like,
especially,
God damn it.
It's how shallow the Stone Island fans are. Like, I know, right? It's gonna be a like, visible wallet.
We're gonna leave it on the ground, yo.
Leave the Goyard on the floor.
Yeah, it's good. Moving on. They can't. It does not fit in the pocket, bro. What can we do? You know,
the Goyard doesn't fit in the pocket.
People can't see it. It doesn't matter.
It's okay.
It's all good.
Yeah, but going back into Hidden NY is what we were talking about. I feel like you kind of need brand managers nowadays. Sometimes, if it's like to the scale of what Hidden's doing, they kind of like depict what the next move is going to be.
Right. I feel think like they move the needle enough?
A little bit.
I would agree with that.
Especially if like the guy that's running Hidden has to focus on whatever Hidden is doing, which is like posting multiple times a day. I don't feel like he has to per se focus on a whole brand. Like he probably obviously wants like a certain direction to the brand, but like as far as it operating and like picking models, photo shoot, all of these stuff, like quality assessment, I don't know if he wants to take all of those tasks on, which is a lot.
Right. Do you think it's almost being treated almost more like merch at this point?
I don't think so. It's like a high scale merch, if anything. You know
right. What I mean, you could like.
It's like
Travis Scott. Like Travis Scott merch makes probably more money than full on fashion labels. You know what I mean? But it's still merch.
Fully. I feel like Hidden NY treats it like how Kai treats strawberry jams, I would say. Because it's like it's merch, but it's like very high tier merch. Like it's like good quality.
And the next level would kind of be like a Saint Woods.
Yeah, exactly. Because they do like full collections. They're carried by.
They're a full on fashion brand.
They're full brand.
Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah, exactly. really cool. The parties are insane. I wish.
I've heard good things.
I've heard good things. Holes in the ground, I've heard.
Yeah, it's
Craziness.
Wow. And Montreal has been like
a heavy hitter.
Yeah,
honestly.
Been real good.
Yeah. They set the tone all the way in Paris, which is crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, you're a part of it too. You know, you're a part of the Montreal.
It's hard to say because I don't really see it. You know, I just see the number. I haven't seen the interaction out there yet. So we'll have to see.
I mean, especially in these times, it's even harder to connect.
I've gotten mixed reviews about people saying I should go to Paris or not. The people are like either go or they're like don't go at all. Not right now, but we'll see.
I guess right now there is a way to go if you take the proper precautions.
Yeah.
However, there's an argument to be made as to why not wait and have a fuller experience of what you're going to do anyways, you know?
I'm battling in my head currently.
Because like I said last time, you've never been to Europe, you know?
At all.
When's the last time you went to Philly?
Maybe a year and a half ago.
Okay, so like kind of before, kind of perfect timing, really.
Yeah, exactly. A year and a half ago, something like that. Really nice experience, though. I love going out to Philly to see my family. It's really cool.
What type of fashion city would you say like Philly is?
Philly is more of a uniform city, I would say. They definitely like to not follow trends, but like they have certain components in the uniform that they wear. You know, like they have like the polo white tees. They have their G-Star. They have, what else do they have? 95s.
You don't think like Uzi made everybody like up their game a little bit?
A little bit, but they still have not enough. Like, because they're still gonna be like, well, that's Uzi, you know? Yeah. Like they don't see it as like, oh, this is accessible. That's like a person doing their thing type of thing.
Did we talk about the diamond? No, it didn't even.
I don't think we did. We talk about the diamond.
How do you feel about it? Because as you know, I'm a big Uzi guy.
Same here. I'm from Philly. I have to be. You know what I mean? So
I mean, to me, he's the new generation, like the goat of the new generation.
Yeah.
Like the energy. I like the music and just the person. I mean, you have to fuck with the person at a certain level. You know, I still don't believe that's $24 million on his.
You don't think so?
Bro, people would have already Thanos'd him. Like at this point, it would have been done, right? Because if you're actually carrying that much.
But the thing is that I know how pricey natural colored stones are when it comes to diamonds. I mean, I don't know about pink.
I mean, maybe it got evaluated by a random person at that price.
Yeah, like who's
do I think he actually paid?
Who's that jeweler in Beverly Hills that like has the perfect smile and he's like?
Oh, he's always in like producer Michael's video and that guy. He does like the full baguette. No, Johnny Dang's in that's in Houston. It's like a white dude, kind of a bigger dude, white hair, perfect smile. Yeah. It's like it's purple. Everything's purple, and it's all diamonds everywhere. Oh, I'm blanking on the name,
but he like evaluates some of the stones that he has on their own, like not even in jewelry, at like insane amounts of money, like almost like 11 million. Like they're just
I know they exist out there. So
I think it's possible. I don't know about 24, but it's definitely high. It's definitely high.
Because even let's say we know for like he did not pay 24 million because you've heard, like I'm sure what I've heard is that over the years he's been giving
money to Elliot. Yeah.
But
since 2017, apparently he's been paying off this diamond.
Yeah.
Can
you imagine paying
off a stone in payments like it's paying off a credit card bill?
Well, not let alone that, just paying off anything in the millions of dollars at a time and not getting anything in return. You just got to, this is just
you're waiting for the
payment.
moment to get the stone implanted into your head.
Because then, like,
it's complete.
Because it's good to like have perspective. Because like you think of his car collection, and you're like, yo, that's so much money. But you're like, all these cars are not even like
combined. Doesn't even equate to that.
And he has a very, 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 very solid car collection. A very, very solid jewelry collection. But even then, like
very diverse too. At that.
The cars.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a Urus. He has I'm pretty sure he has an R8 with the anime wrap.
The Bugatti.
Yeah, he has a Chiron, the first, the 16, the first one. He's got a Trackhawk, a crazy Jeep. Yeah. Like with like
the Cherokee or some shit like that.
Yeah. It's again, he knows his stuff.
He does.
I found his GQ interview fascinating. How he said he was more in love with fashion than with music. Like to be a platinum artist, and still be like open enough to be like, I like it, but I just prefer clothing.
Yeah, he's more happy with it. I wouldn't be surprised if he like tried to do something within fashion eventually.
I kind of feel like he's almost like PJ Tucker, who's like, he rather have everything from every brand than be stuck to just
wearing one brand.
You know what I mean?
Like, I don't think I can ever see Uzi.
I don't see him as a uniform type of guy.
Yeah,
you know.
No, but that going back to like the Philly question is like, you could see Uzi as that, but you can't see the majority of Philly like that. That's the thing.
Well, I think like he's unique wherever he goes, would be, you know.
But especially in Philly, it's like, like that dude's weird.
Like,
like he's super weird. So
I think like maybe Japan, from what I've heard, like because apparently like when you first go to Japan, like that whole like the streetwear, the way it hits you different. It's like because they're the goats. I mean, it seems to be undeniable, be it from sneakers all the way to the clothing and like
they carry it. They always just carry it every single time.
One day, bro. One day, it's the Japan trip is gonna be next.
And
level.
I've come to terms finally. I'm like, I don't have to get everything once I'm there. I'll be happy getting a 1, 2, 3.
That's the thing.
You know, you can't get everything. So at least I've come to terms with that. And then eventually, when it comes around,
you know what I need to get though in Japan?
What are you gonna do?
Tat it.
Oh, that is true.
The whole technically, you know, it's still illegal. You got to find a way to do it. And my biggest piece is a Japanese,
your whole back
traditional
piece.
front, the whole front piece.
Front piece, my bad, bro.
But it's just the whole idea of like you can't go to bathhouses, but you know you're not gonna get arrested if you have a tat or whatever. And again, it's just, but obviously there would be some shopping going down, like undeniable. But it is like a next level expensive city, you know, like it's not
like, would you say it's like the same as London or even more?
I've heard it's like I don't know if it's more, but if it's for sure the same. It might even be more. Yeah. Okay.
Even like
it's like population density, you know, cost of living in general, you know.
Even for like Airbnb and everything like that as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, because you have to think. First of all, Japan is very much inclusive. Like it's very limited the amount of people like for travel. Yes, but as far as visas and all that, they're notoriously pretty like strict as far as who has nationality.
Okay.
And I think it's a whole mentality of the culture that's geographically, you know, influenced by being an island. You know, you have to be self-sufficient in a lot of ways. You're looking at the world literally isolated by nature. You know, you have to. So I feel like that's a part of it, of how they value everything a bit differently. But I don't know, man. It's still something that I want to experience for myself.
I need to.
In person.
I really need to go. I would love to go.
Know,
yeah. Hopefully one day, once all of this tones down, we'll...
Yeah. Ramen. Like food. Because obviously, like, this is very fashion-driven, but like humans are extremely complex beings. You know, like if
food
like
is
fashion,
one of the multifacets that we have to to enjoy. You have to survive.
Yeah. But and food says a lot about humans because we've taken something that is purely survival driven. Because you could easily make the case that like food is your fuel. There's people that are like that in the world. Yeah. However, the other side of the spectrum is, nah, motherfucker, food is art. Yeah. Like I can take you on a trip with just what's in this plate, you know? Yeah. We can go all over the world. And again, that says a lot about humans, how you could see food and only see, oh, this is sustenance, this is what I need to survive. Or you could see food and be like, I'm going to make people trip right now.
Do you think that goes into an individual's taste as well?
A taste in what sense? Like
taste as in like actual like taste of like, how do I explain that? Of what they like.
How they see the world.
How they see the world.
Yeah. For sure, because somebody that's going to take the time to think about how they smell, how they look, what they eat, they're going to have a totally different life experience than somebody who's just like, yo, clothing is just to not die of cold. Food is only to survive. Like, and again, I mean, like, it's definitely something that may be kind of foreign to people like us who have spent so much time, you know, like, optimizing what we look at, be it in fashion or again in food, like, because we like
anything good eats, matter. Yeah.
Exactly, good shoes, good cars, good watches, everything. Whereas you can make the whole utilitarian and
minimalist.
But I was gonna say that, but it actually, to me, it doesn't apply because you could be minimalistic but still want the absolute best.
That is true.
Of what it is. Like, no, I don't need to have an all-you-can-eat buffet. I'd rather go to the highest tier sashimi place and get the freshest. You know what I mean? That's because you could still be a minimalist. Like, no, I only need 3 pieces and I'm straight.
I didn't see it like that.
But you're still putting all the effort and the time to learn about everything you want.
You could still go to Whole Foods and cash out every day if you wanted to.
Whole Foods is a whole nother thing, you know? Getting me angry over it.
Sorry to go so off track, but I forgot that was one topic that we were going to cover that was in between the ones that we were talking about was Raf Simons' reissue.
Yeah.
Sorry, going so off track from what we were talking
about.
No,
but you know what? Raf is a fashion god, so it's full circle, baby.
That is
he full circle moment. It's either Rick or Raf.
Yeah. For a lot of people. And for me, out of the two, I gravitate to Rick more, but Raf is still very much appreciated. One of the first high-end shoes, well, the two high-end shoes that I invested in when I was younger was like the Geo Basket and then the two-strap, like all white Raf shoes. You know, like how he just had like the strap sneakers at that point.
Yes,
like the high tops. That was like the other shoe that
early
days. Yeah. I think that was like 2015 when I had those.
Because you mentioned, and I'm sure there'll be a link down below in your recent vlog about how Thirdborn,
Shout out to James.
They got the new reissue stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you spoke about it a bit, but like we could talk about it a bit more here in this format. How do you feel about houses doing what Raf has done?
I feel like fashion heads kind of have to take the whole stigma out of, like, I don't know, like them seeing it as being lazy, you know? Because like sneakers have done it for so long, and you know that for a fact too. Like Jordan's been dropping the same shoe since '85. So literally, from then till now, like the natural grays
Chuck Taylors is still being sold today.
Yeah,
Chuck Taylors have not changed
at all
since the 40s. Yeah.
So for a fashion house to be like, I don't think you should drop the same collection twice. It's like, yeah, sure, they have to come out with fresh ideas every single time, but it wouldn't hurt to, like, for those people that enjoy a collection that was so impactful, again, it wouldn't hurt anybody, I don't think. But like for the purist people, I understand, like, but
let's not forget, like, it's a business.
Yeah.
And you have something where you see those grailed prices, like items sold, like the top, top items of the week.
The crew neck is $15,000 US on grailed currently.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then James got that crew neck for $650 Canadian dollars.
And I think I can't remember who, but one of the people that commented on your video made the point that, like, if you're gonna have access to something that's made by the same factory, reissued by the same person that gives the okay, and also when they first came out they weren't as poppin' and he didn't get as much in his pocket, to now be able to reissue on a larger scale, like, is there...
The only person telling you it's weird is the person
that has it,
that
already has it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But even then, isn't it even more of a flex now that you could be like, oh, you got that new stuff, that's cute.
Yeah, that's true.
I still have, and you could have both and be like, well, because have you seen an OG one
in person?
Yeah,
I've seen an OG Virginia Creeper hoodie in person. I've seen, I think, a couple of the crew necks, like the, oh my god, all the archive pages are gonna come for me, but like there's like multiple words on a Raf long sleeve crew neck that like are
Fernando
like
would be clutch right now.
He would be crushed right now. Oh my god, horrified. You know? But anyway, I seen that when I was at Silver League, and then I also seen a Virginia Creeper hoodie in person, and both of them amazing quality. I love the aspect that they're like, there's this finishing over them and they deteriorate over time. Obviously, the new ones, I don't think he wanted that. I think consumers would be like, why am I paying for something that's going to like deteriorate? But like, it's a different time, different consumer.
But I was going to say, would you still validate the item as, okay, like you're not sacrificing by getting a new one?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't see it as that at all, especially because if I had the money, I would get the OG. Right now, I would probably get the reissue. You know what I mean? I think I would.
Is it that high on list of things you would get with 15 racks? Because that's the other. Because it's cool to know the price of it and look at it in a vacuum.
Yeah.
But when you go get out of that vacuum, and you could be like, you know, that trip to Japan.
The trip to Japan.
You just bought a hoodie instead.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
But then I also see it in perspective of like, when Jacob went to Japan, he was telling me how he got this Raf hoodie that was a sample from 2005 or 6, something like that. But then that's like, he only got that when he went to Japan, and he spent a hefty dollar on this hoodie. Let's just say, okay. So it's like his story of Japan is tied to like even this thing that already has a story of itself, you know. So it's like a combination of the two. It's like
it's archive and personal at the same time.
Yeah. So maybe if it was like tied to something like that, sure. But like, is it one of the first things that I'm gonna go to? Probably not. Like, I'd rather go for a watch or a trip, like you said. But yeah,
you could get a sick watch.
You get a sick watch for 15.
You get like a used high quality Rolex, like basic. Oh yeah. That's the thing, is that it's so easy to get caught up in like, my thing obviously instinctively would be sneakers, but then you look at like a Paris SB or a Red October or whatever, and you're like, oh yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but like it makes sense in your mind for half a second, but then you just do a tiny bit of a step back and you're like, wait. So you're talking
perspective.
This is like what, 4 years of rent, or like the biggest trip of my life. Or like, you know, like down payment. I could start a new. I could go to school for a year. You know,
get so depressed when you start thinking things in the context of rent. Then you're just like, man.
Yeah, no, but it's crazy because that is one thing that is completely lost in the Instagram world that we live in. Is that disposable income is the only thing that's shown, but the people that show you their disposable income have all that other stuff covered. You know, that's how they get to have that disposable income. Whereas if you're just a 14-year-old with his first job that's like trying to justify $1,500 SBs because your favorite Instagrammer has it, and you're not there yet mentally to understand how like, no, he gets to do that because all these his car payments are more than these shoes. Like, this is just fun for, you know, like it's like having perspective is so important in this world, because I believe that with enough research and knowledge and effort, you can get something that you like within whatever it is that you want to spend. You know, it doesn't always have to be that whole price point is key, you know, that like filter price high to low, which I am guilty of, you know, because it's also like, let's not get it twisted. There is a reason why those high value items are highly valued. Yeah. It's because people that share these interests are willing to pay that premium because they are aware of, be it the story that is told, the scarcity.
And a lot of people want what other people can't have too. There's a lot of aspects
what
of
you can have, but that you know about.
That too.
That is a very like fine line, because like, again, to go back to sneakers, like you could bring out like something that's been taken out of the kitchen, a sample, one of one for like a basketball player. But if it's like a trash shoe for a player that nobody cares about, like you're not gonna fetch as much as a dunk, a GR dunk that just came out, you know? Exactly. So it's that whole, you want it, but you can't get it. That like the knowing about it is so important, you know, to create value, basically. That it's like,
I've been making sure that I don't have that lingo in my dialect. I feel like it's like, you don't want to be like, oh, you don't got these. Because like I seen that a lot in the Yachty video. Going back to the Yachty video, is like, oh, like you ain't got these, or like Bari does it often too. A lot of rappers do it too. But it's like, I don't really care if like other people don't have it. It's like, if I like it, then great. And a lot of people will like it too. But like, I'm not really buying it to be like, oh, you don't got these type of thing.
Well, because I feel like it's an additional level of flexing, because it not only is it expensive, but I'm also showing you that you don't even have it. Yeah. So like, I could show you something that like property, which is way more important and valuable, but like. But my parents own a house. My parents have property. That's not impressive. Like you're showing me, but whereas if you're showing
more impressive than Yachty's sneaker collection is the room itself. Like I love how it's designed.
That house, the house
is amazing house. Too. Yeah, and the fact that there's two of them, like they're connected. Like you got the neighboring house to it. Yeah, as well.
That's some Drake level flex.
Literally, you have to buy the neighbors out, which is crazy. That's more impressive to me than the sneakers in it.
And that shows again the power of QC, man. Like, because I don't want this to sound like misconstrued as like but like Yachty has been more or less low key music wise, as far as like I'm talking like pop numbers, not like just in hip hop or in general. That you would think that like QC is managing him like
very
extremely well.
Very well. All of QC is taken care of, especially like even the new artists, the old artists, like every single
everybody.
one, no one's struggling. Like everyone's having.
But he's also, I feel like, done his part to stay relevant outside of music. He's
and you
very,
don't have
very
to be
good
on the
at
charts to do so, which is really
not
cool.
anymore. No, because like
he dropped Coffin.
You sell your brand almost more than your music.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Exactly. Like he could do the videos. He dropped like even like the cult classics, like Coffin did very well for him, like on TikTok and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Lil Baby's going crazy, City Girls, all of them like are doing great stuff.
Yeah, no, but still, that to I'm like on a scale of like other rappers, I guess I'd say. You know what I mean? It's been quite. Again, it doesn't even matter. What I'm saying is that regardless of his place, where you place him in the music industry, he's been clearly able to do extremely well, you know.
Yeah, no matter.
And that's amazing, you know. And that goes against the good management, and he also means he has a head on his shoulders, you know, because a lot of rappers
could have fell off a long time ago.
Way before, you know,
wouldn't have the time of day to see any of that closet.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my God, that's and I'm pretty sure he's my size, which is our size actually, which happens to be like.
You gave Joe LaPuma the wave runners. I wish you gave them to me. I want those.
Don't you? I thought no. You have the first slides, right?
Yeah,
you have Yeezy slides.
Yeah, I have Yeezy slides. You have the brown ones. I don't know the name of them.
I don't know. Yeezys are it's a whole thing.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like we need to talk about something that happened today.
Oh,
at noon.
A high L that you took.
But however, I'm gonna be super positive and say huge shout out to Trevor, because to have people fuck with his stuff this much, it like obviously it sucks to take an L. Like I keep saying it, like it was just like a sneakers drop. Like it was just as hectic.
Huge.
But to see somebody do something so creative where every panel on the shoe is a reimagining of what's considered as the most famous SB of all time, to give it that twist from the box to the lace tips to the outsole, and then to see it so successful. Obviously, if there's any way that I can get my hands on a pair, I would love to. But just to see it, how it happened, was like I was really, really impressed. Yeah, like honestly,
I was impressed from the moment that I first seen like the little snippet of it. Like Trevor had sent me pictures when he was cooking them up, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like,
no, because I mean, it's also the artist. I'm blanking on the name. I'm sorry, but like who did the whole canvas that he used?
That's
for the
what
print?
Was even more impressive to me too. That like he commissioned an artist to like actually do the work that he had imagined in his head for it. And I really appreciate any of the younger brands that kind of have that like neighboring partner to them that's an artist that kind of illustrates this imagery that they've always wanted, like whether it be with T-Rex with Sicko or whoever works with Siberia Hills and like
do you know how easy it would have been for him to just like burn out the one in the chambers?
Yeah.
Just every OG Jordan colorway, drop it. Which I wouldn't mind, by the way. I'm still waiting for those black toes. That still kind of gives me a bit of hope. But yeah, to go with like, because if you look at the about page on the website, it really, the whole like how he describes how it's like it's kind of making fun of the whole fashion world and the whole streetwear scene.
Very meme culture, but done to a really tasteful way.
Because like you have to think about how ironic it is that he basically took this shoe that is minimum 100K now to sniff, and he like repurposed it and created his own version and got it to drop and sell out just as fast as that brand that you're but that you're inspired by, you know? That's so impressive. And again, extremely detail oriented. Right after dropping a dope collection, that bag is sick.
Yeah, the collection was even more impressive than the shoe attached to it, I would say, even like, which was the natural, I think the natural gray was a part of that collection.
Yeah,
too,
I believe so.
And even the slugs too. Like, I think he previewed the slugs in the collection. Yeah. So he previewed the slugs in the collection, and I don't know, I was more impressed by the bag too. Like just like I love like leather goods that aren't leather goods type of thing. Like I love the Telfar bag. I wear it pretty often, and
you have yellow, right? Yellow game.
Yeah, the yellow one. I wanted to get the black one. He has a black one.
Black or green? I was gonna say.
He has black.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
I'm a forest green type of guy.
Yeah,
so
you gotta get the forest green. My mom wants a brown one now. I sparked the curse in a lot of people.
But no, bro, that's sick.
It's a great bag.
But for me, like for the shoes, because like I'm extremely like still like at the core of it, like a sneakers was the base of it all, and to have I don't know, just again, I know I don't want to be too repetitive, but the execution and
flawless.
Yeah, and again, the whole idea of a young, because we spoke about the Ores.
Yeah,
I was so happy to get the Ores.
We have to give Trevor his flowers now too, so that's what we're doing.
And honestly, just like more success to him.
Yeah,
I know like it's easy to get like caught up in the hate of like, oh, like it was hard to get a pair of whatever, but like also like,
because I even feel bad for him too. Is that like I'm sure. I don't know. He was showing on his on his burner account that like there's people that send crazy messages to this guy. Like, and for what? Like because you didn't get the shoe. Like everyone doesn't get the shoe one day or another.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and there's also days that you do get the shoe.
Exactly.
So you can't send hate mail to this man. Like obviously you would love to get the shoe, but sometimes it doesn't
honestly,
work out.
It just validates the whole universe, as in like you weren't meant to get him if you're about to like
if you're about to
be that type of person.
This scary email to Trevor,
because it's like I get, because trust me, and my girl will attest to that. I was in my feelings when the drop happened. I was like, babe, I didn't get him. It didn't go through. I saw that sold out, but still, it's like. Is the whole chase of it is fun. There'll be other sneakers, bro. If you fuck with it enough, wait for the next drop and try again.
Yeah.
That's
or if you're really that torn up on it, then I mean, hit a reseller if you need to. But
if you got it. I would, especially with that type of product, I would so much rather that money go in his pocket than anybody else's.
Because he works so hard for it.
Exactly, and it's part of, I guess you can make the argument that like it's basically third party marketing at that point when you're paying resale. You're validating the brand in a different way. But still, it's not. It doesn't feel the same to me. I was so happy to be able to give Ray, to support Ray and not have to be like, yo, can you hook it up, bro? I know Kyron, bro. Can I like just to do it, Because again, if you
to hit on a hit manual on a drop, always.
And again, hopefully he'll make another drop and all that. I think we were about to get into SB, but I want to save it because I am such a big SB head.
Right, cool.
We're already at an hour.
Yeah, exactly. We'll save it for our next.
We'll have another, and I think SBs will still be hot by the time we record another episode, so we'll be good.
SBs are going to be hot for a minute.
So I think
that'll be another hot take we'll get into.
Yes, you're gonna hear me get heated.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's got a lot to get into.
This is the format to lay it all out. Long form discussions. You know, and I've been into SBs just as a teaser for the next episode since like 04, 05. So like
back.
We're gonna it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have accompanying pictures, the whole shebang.
He has the whole archive laid out for you guys. So he'll send it to me. He's gonna airdrop it to me this after this episode. And then we're gonna
it's gonna be fun. And just to wrap up, big shout out again to Tragic Studios for having us.
I appreciate you guys once again.
Thanks to everybody listening. Where can people find you, my man?
The socials are GOTSWEIGE is my Instagram, and you guys are on the YouTube channel right now. If you're watching it, audio will be found in the description below. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Music. And Remy, what are your socials?
At Remzashoodle, Twitter, Instagram, REMZSHOEDLE. And if anybody has any questions or subjects they want us to talk about, let us know.
Go in the
comments. Just we're down for anything. And I think we're out, bro.
Yeah, that's it. See you guys in the next one. Peace.
Nice. Gang. Thank you.